This is M. I want to show you today how to make a boom camera for your RC vehicle. Really cheap, really easy. Got a couple of these yard-long aluminum yardsticks from Home Depot this morning. They're under $3 a piece. I used two of them together to make this. Used three screws left over from my stainless steel screw set. Bent it a little bit. You can put it on the front or the back of the vehicle. Pretty easy. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, you want to get your digital camera. I'm just using a Canon PowerShot SD600. It's got video capability on it. Get a, I believe this is a 1/4 screw that fits in the tripod mount. That way you don't have to use the actual tripod clip. If you don't want to, you can, but the idea is to keep the weight down because it will make the front of your vehicle sag a little bit, which is alright. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't drag or anything unless you stop real quick. But anyway, you want to take your yardstick. It's already got a hole in it, which is cool. Thread your camera onto it. This way you can turn it on and get a good idea of the range away from the front of the vehicle you need. On mine it's about 22 inches away from the front or the rear. It just depends on how wide your camera is. You just measure that out. What I did is I measured the top piece. You can see here the bent piece. I measured it out from the bumper and gave it about an extra 1.5 inches out, or inch and a half extra distance in here. You can always trim it off later. And then I cut it just short of the end of the bottom support where the hole is. I guess it's about an 1.5 inches. Drilled a couple of holes in it, put the screws through there, nylon lock nuts on there so it won't vibrate loose. What I did is I designed it to where it could hook into the front bumper to give it support on the top. It just slides in like that, and with the bottom piece all I did was just drill a little hole in it through my aluminum skid plate so I could take it on and off real quick. Okay, for the aluminum yardsticks, they're pretty easy to bend. They're relatively thin. What I did is I just put it in the vise and measured in about 4.5–5 inches. It's kind of in between the two here. Clamp it down just below halfway. Take your pliers, and it bends relatively easily. You may have to take a couple bites at it to get it how you want it. The idea is to get one of the pieces, doesn't matter whether it's the top or the bottom, get one of the pieces bent in the middle like that, probably as close to each end as possible, but of course you want it flat so you can mount your camera on it and also have it flat down here at the bottom to get your skid plate, get it mounted to the skid plate. I did the top part here. It does help and keep it from bouncing. If you had the two pieces on there, it would want to sag. These pieces would bend. So having it bent like that just gives it a little bit more rigidity. Okay, you can see how I got it bent around the back of the front bumper through the opening. If you get the wider yardstick, of course you're going to have a problem there. But it also depends on what vehicle you're running. So just kind of come up with a plan before you go and get the yardsticks. They are cheap, so if you screw up, you can run and get another one or get an extra one while you're there. You can see it's bolted into the bottom. I just drilled one hole. That's all you really need. I'm not going to be doing any jumps or major bashing like that, so just I want to keep the camera kind of safe, but I do want to get some cool shots. One thing I do want to mention, you want to make sure you get the camera at an angle to where it's sort of looking down on it, because if you don't, it'll probably drag a little bit, and you don't want that. But you know, like I said earlier, you want to line the camera up to where it gets, you know, it gets the vehicle from side to side, a little bit of a bird's eye view. Of course, once you get it on here and mounted, you can bend it a little bit, you know, just go further than you want it to be, and it'll bounce back a little bit. So if I wanted to get more of a, you know, a down angle, I could bend it up some. And that's really it. Of course, you know, you can put your shell on, your batteries in, go out and run it, shoot some video. It's pretty simple and cheap. Okay, so there it is on the front of the truck. One thing I did do, I didn't show you earlier, was I put some shims in the front shocks just to keep that front end up a little bit. Quite a few shims actually. It does weight it down some, but I mean, you know, you're looking for any kind of performance out of it anyway. You're not going to be really going that fast. At least I'm not. I don't want to destroy my camera. Notice I'm not using my high definition camera on the front. It's pretty big and heavy anyway. So here's some video of the results. Hope this helps, and can't wait to see everybody's videos.